Happy New Year and welcome to Rainham Marshes. I worked hard over the new year as a black cabbie and I didn't see any birds for 2-3 days. So I just wanted to go somewhere where there were loads of birds. So I've come over to Rainham Marshes again. Obviously I'm low on time during the winter, so I can't go off into the furthermost reaches of the UK doing vlogs. It's going to have to be local stuff. So yeah, Rainham Marshes, loads of birds. Very happy so far. I've only been here about 20 minutes. Above the car park, a couple of buzzards, common buzzards, circling. They always usually give away their presence by their call. And yeah, lots of the sparrows and starlings as usual by this metal bridge. But while I was on the metal bridge, I heard I wouldn't say an unfamiliar call, but I couldn't remember what it was. And it turned out to be a Chetty's warbler. I got like 2 seconds of it if I'm lucky. What is that? That's fieldfare, which I'll talk about in a moment. I'll just say it now. I'm up on the path. This path is not part of the reserve. You can actually, like I said before, you can go along here while the reserve is closed. It's actually public walkway. Just had a fieldfare land in this bush in front of me, behind some branches, but I got a little bit of video of it. I've just seen about 4 or 5 fly over, so they're here, which is good. The lighting's a bit harsh today. Very cold. I think it's about 4 degrees Celsius for you American folk, but we're doubled up, double jackets, thermal trousers, new gloves, double hat. I'm having to pull a tissue out every now and again and my eyes are streaming a bit, but nowhere else I'd rather be than out. So yeah, so we had a couple of common buzzards and then lots of, I can even see a marsh hare over there. Yeah, I saw a flock of birds go up, lapwing. Usually when that happens, raptor, sure enough, 2 marsh hares over at the back. So we've had 2 buzzards, 2 marsh hares, a fieldfare, a Chetty's warbler. Happy days. I'm just scanning the front here, hoping that there might be Dartford Warbler, which is the very first place I saw one. And then a couple miles to the west, we've got one at, is it the Beckton, somewhere in Beckton. At the moment, there are 3 red starts. So depending on how today goes, if I've got enough time, I'll drive home via Beckton and try my luck, but we might run low on time. We're probably going to stick to the southern end of the marsh because I've never had much luck on the northern end. And with this sunlight, like if I look out onto the river, everything's backlit. And that's the benefit of my home place, my home turf of Crossness, is everything on the river is lit up by the sun. So everything here is going to be on these pools from this angle is going to be your best bet for well-exposed video. Or photos, sorry. I forget some of you are still stuck on the old ways of photography. So anyway, a good little start to the day and hope for a lot more. Oh, that was a completely unexpected surprise. This chap stopped by with his dog and said, "Are you looking out for the Dartford Warbler?" I went, "If there was one here, there's one here." I didn't know there was one that's been spotted recently or anything like that. I've heard about them in the past. If you see them by chance, thought nothing of it. I said, if I see it, I see it. Then just walking along halfway along the riverfront, something small with a long tail flew across the path. I thought, surely, can't be. I thought, well, it's only a small bush over there. Can't be long-tailed tits because there's only one of them. I mean, what are the chances? So I went and stood by the bush, well, up on the path, and the small bird landed on the top with a long tail sticking up. And it was backlit, so I had to adjust it. And as soon as I adjusted the exposure, I could not believe it. My first day out birding of the new year, didn't expect it, a Dartford Warbler. I mean, come on, how lucky am I? Am I lucky or am I just good? Blinding, absolutely blinding. So of course I've been looking for it. There's a few birders out and I'm looking at what they're looking at from the distance. If they've got their scopes up or binoculars, I'm checking out. But at the moment, apart from that, there's a load of avocets out in the water on the mud with some shell duck redshank. Saw another fieldfare. They are flying around. And I followed a snipe in. I didn't know if it was a common sandpiper or whatever, but there are lots of snipe here apparently. I'm gonna get down to the reserve in a minute and look for it, even though I want to give this another go for the Dartford Warbler, because that's the most important thing, obviously. I've got to get that, and I'd like to get it with the sun behind me and the bird in front of me, so it's well lit. And on top of that, I just had a really spectacular experience down in these reeds. I saw a little white bird going back and forth in the wind. Had to be a reed bunting, and it was. And I filmed it first over there, and then I saw some movement down in the dead reed bits, and it was on the ground. And it was there for, I must have filmed it for about 10 minutes. And I used that 4K crop to get right in on its head just to show you how close I can get. And it happily fed away on the little seed pods that are in the reeds. And I don't know if it's still there. We'll have a look. Little male, very showy. I don't see any female, but I think there's been some wrens jumping around there as well. Might have moved on, but superb footage. I might just put the whole bit of footage up in a separate clip of him feeding, because it was really great to see. Reminds me of about 4 years ago when I got that snow bunting down in Broadstairs. It was happily feeding in front of me because it was so cold. So yeah, hopefully the cold weather will bring out more birds to feed, because he really was not bothered by me. I have seen some meadow pipits. I'm hoping for a water pipit, but you know, when you see on the bird guides and it says one water pipit, it's like, oh, well, thanks for your help. Can we be a bit more specific? Is it a mile away? Do I need a really powerful scope to see it? Anyway, what another great little segment of the day. Wow, just can't believe it. So I went looking for the Dartford Warbler again. No joy, it has gone. Didn't see it. So did see female stone chat, which is normally seen on this side of the reserve. So it was on the riverside, no male. Rested on the fence up there. And then meadow pipits, which are usually quite jumpy out there. Suddenly they were just in the grass and then up in the tree for me to film them. So followed them along the river a bit. Came into the, whoops, swapping over it. My arm's getting a bit sore. Came into the Purfleet hide, and just before I went in, the breaks in the fence, I saw loads of snipe. And like they said, there were probably 30 counted. There's probably about 50 or 60 over that one bit. And hidden, who knows what else is hidden away back there, but I've set the tripod up and filmed them through this break in the fence, sleeping, and little gusts of wind throwing the image stabilizer off a tiny bit, but usable. And then when I went into the hide and tried using the tripod, anybody just tapping their fingers on the ledge or anything like that caused the image stabilizer to shake. And just don't forget, when you go into the Purfleet hide, that door does slam. And I've done it before in the past, so somebody did it on the way out. Nobody flinched, I think, because they all know how bad it is. But in there were loads and loads of widgeon, mallards, teal, grey heron having a good old scratch. Remember last time I was here, he was chasing the great white egret. A couple of dunlin in there. I believe they're dunlin. I could hear the birders next to me saying, yeah, I'm not very good at waders either, as they were trying to debate whether they were sandalling or dunlin or something else. Does it have a curved beak? I couldn't. So I think they're dunlin. I think we can agree on that. Loads of pintail, beautiful looking, handsome birds. So followed those around while they fed in the water. Chetties. And got, yeah, all the different pools. I've come along the path, and they've been in the pools. Managed to just get a little bit of flight footage of one, not great, better one as soon as it appears. And then we got some with their tail up feeding, like you usually see mallards feeding like this, tail straight up in the air. And with a pintail, you want to see the pin, don't you? And it's right out in the open. There's no mistaking which species it is when that pintail is up. I'm just standing there catching up on this vlog because once I turn down that path, the sun is going to be, look, lens flare. Yo! Yeah, I mean, at the back, Canada geese, grey-leg geese. Looks like we've only got about sort of half an hour before the sun goes behind the river wall. So I'm just trying to get down to the bearded reedling area to see if we can grab those before we lose the sun. And oh my gosh, we're getting our fill of field fare. This one gave me loads of great footage. I started off at 800mm, And as it sat there for a while, I flicked up to the 4K crop, got right in there, which beats my footage from, where were we the other day? I've forgotten the name of it, Jeskins Wood. I thought that was good. It's gonna be one of those times where I get something and then quickly, soon after that, it just improves. I get better photos. Actually, I've stopped taking photos now, but better footage, better and better footage. But yeah, they're in between the seawall and the path. So keep your eyes open. They've been here all day as far as I can see. Well, can't complain about that. No reedlings, but a very decent day indeed. Hello, Mr. Robin. Yeah, so just as we arrived on the reed area where the reedlings usually are, the only thing that was there was a very showy blue tit eating off of one of the, my brain never works, whatever. Tell me, you remind me what it is, those pod things. Brain goes to mush. Right, okay, so just taking off everything. So yeah, got there in this bulrush. It's bulrush, isn't it? Oh dear. Yeah, bulrush. He gets it. Very, very friendly. And looked up, and in the distance there was a marsh harrier being mobbed by, I say mobbed, it was only one crow. I can hardly call that being mobbed. Let's just take this off, that's easiest. Oh, and all my gear. All the gear and no idea. Whoop. And then over the river area, there was a kestrel hovering, which I hadn't seen sat on any posts or anything, so he was out there, but not close enough for me to get any decent footage like there was at Jeskins the other day. And anything else? I'm sure, I'm just going to turn my face a second to clean my nose. I'm sure I saw a water rail fly across one of the river bits, because it had a kind of a grey breast and it wasn't as big as a coot. But no chance of getting a photo of that or a video. I waited there because I thought, what you do is you think, well, people just walked past me 5 minutes ago, so it's obviously come out since then. But I'm running out of time, so I had to give it a rest. So kestrel, marsh harrier, and the blue tit. A great round off to the day. I'm plenty happy with everything I've seen today. So, hope you enjoyed, folks. Happy New Year.